Hey folks, John Gelfian here, following up with one more video of the Beyond Anti-Semitic Extreme Hate inflicted against my family. Following up with the probation violations that are now threatening to wrongfully incarcerate me and my life, as I had the planted child pornography in the background, which, while filed and dropped before my hearing, is in my background without a doubt. Just like with the false DUI, where there's no denying that it was used against me as well, with the allegations filed at the time of the timely arrest. You may have to pause on these, but you can see here, after I explained that none of them were violations, that's one being a dilute screen, the other three being false claims of not paying my money on time as agreed, then not paying the attorney fees, and then not paying my monthly fees, are all blatant lies. Not getting into the how of the dilute screen, but it all rolled up. Memorial Day, majorly attacked holiday every year. And you can see here initially a Zoom meeting that I was promised, as the probation violations have been used against me, probation transfer denials, that were never requested. As you'll see, I'm now being forced to go in person. Does raise the concerns I may be arrested in Georgia. I know that imminent danger has been a threat since the start, and they compound from every angle. And while they took away my Second Amendment rights with claims that I wanted to commit suicide, and then claims that I wanted my son to kill me with the gun that I was bought 3 weeks just prior to the family separation plot, the only gun I've ever bought in my life, that I was bought to appease my family, as they were driven on so much fear that the corporation was going to seek retribution for my derailed informing 3 months prior, that I was pushed into just like the first time, with the same person who's the main escalator in Discovery, and her husband. But you can see again, you can read through and pause on this. The coordinated PO meeting in Colorado the very next day after the deadline, which was no doubt in part to ensure I didn't sign, but also, again, raising concerns I may be arrested in Georgia. And even though the original violations document says no, we know that judge is not a fan of pro se. And again, moved to in person, as you can see, after the deadline. Once again, using the false probation transfer denials against me, just as they have throughout, coordinated. And thank God my parents will buy me a ticket, or I'd be screwed, because I'm not even getting paid at work again, as I have outstanding commissions. And it just makes me sick how people dive into this anti-Semitism and extreme hate. But you can read through here, and my court, switch to the new PO. The delays there have been problematic. I don't even have a letter of my hearing next week, and in urgent need. I found out too, you can see here with finance, acknowledged they were data entry errors, which they're not even owed, but they're not data entry errors either. And again, using the force, the threat of jail to take more money more than half a year later. You can also see the wordy suspend if. Leads me to wonder if there's a premeditated aspect of this. And total fines and surcharges. You can see it also includes the public defender fees, but as agreed here at the initial start, $218 6 months, $50 6 months. And while I've paid the $218 on time and as agreed, first 6 months is now switched up to $277. And again, false claims, taking money from me. And like I said, with the probation transfer denials, never even requested. It's all been at the coordination of attorneys. Same thing with the prior stealing that I showed before, the $2,600 taken as I was arrested the Friday before my Monday hearing, and then held 35 days in jail. Again, I believe the timing of the arrest was due to waiting for devices to be turned over, which I also want to add are crimes against me, just as they are awful indicators of the extreme terror my ex-wife is under, since they are private videos that she acknowledged knowing of. But again, held in jail 35 days, and with the overlap cost me $2,600. And as I showed before, I believe the forgery of the DA and the two pleas that were used when forcing the plea to the false allegations, the misdemeanor trespass, and raises a lot of concerns. Also questions like, does the DA know he forced me to waive the preliminary hearing? And some key documents, the statement, the summary, the statement, and co-founder wife putting her name, husband's name, acknowledging him as my partner by name, the statement from my ex-wife who never acknowledges her as anything other than a friend, but then brings the devices to their house, beyond broken chain of custody, the DA, and the summary that goes from acknowledged IP theft by my partners, that being where she took the devices, to then claiming it was a Ponzi scheme. And there's just so much more. It also got me looking, and while I claimed before the lacrosse stick wasn't mentioned in the police report that banned me from my children, I found out it was in another spot, but had the awful things in it. And I do want to add, this is the complaint. It was thrown out again because it was filed on behalf of an adult. My other son wasn't even present, but did get thrown out. But this is definitely not my wife's handwriting, ex-wife. And, she certainly would have been able to spell the name of the high school correctly. And the signature doesn't match. So I believe the forgery goes a lot further than DA. I don't even think my family knew that I was put under no contact, and I'm sure you can imagine the harm from that if they believed I had the right to contact them. So the main escalator in discovery, co-founder, where my devices went, acknowledging the IP theft. I've shown all this in more detail before, but encouraging that we just be quiet about it. And again, the sick claims in the police report. John bought the gun, believes the FBI and Republicans are after him. Again, my Second Amendment rights were taken away. I found out from my DV class because it was never requested deferred as a preventative state it should have been, and may lose my right to bear arms forever. And everyone should be up in arms who believes in gun rights. But the acknowledgement of my FBI case, my attorney even deferring to it, and again, I know my ex-wife was not the one responsible for the claims in the statement. I believe it was the dear friend I've spoke of. But my military ancestors, Broken Eagle, as I talked about before, first thing I saw at the horrific last civil assist, when my son was used to steal my tools, which the burden put on him, when it should have been the property list, we all know. And I went through that before. But again, the false witness claims that forced the misdemeanor trespass plea, and two false stalking allegations that also has child porn that was filed and dropped, just like the adversarial complaint that was filed with the false 1.3 million POC used to steal my home, and then dropped, and then used to steal it from my family, which the 1.4 million went somewhere. That money needs to be followed. I never wanted a divorce, 32-page document. According to my son, my wife never wanted a divorce either, my ex. And we need to get to the bottom of that. But the fact that my children believe that I wanted the divorce goes way beyond already child alienation. Just like the claims with the bankruptcy, that I did it to force my family homeless. That's just beyond. Homes are security, and it just cannot be tolerated, folks. I hope you'll help me. I am having trouble getting support. I found out, even trying to reach to the DA, there's only one legal firm you can go through, and these people engage them for a minor task. So I haven't even reached to them because I know how this group operates, and have no doubt it'll be a conflict of interest, and I don't want to go there. So my next step is with the FBI. Destroyed my life before, not even informing on my personal case as was redirected. But I'm not concerned. I know that they will follow through, but trying to get a sense of urgency around this. We know that they are busy stopping terrorists. There's no murder in this yet. It's coming, but nothing yet. And I don't have 6 months to wait for them. I know they get 10,000 cases a day. I need this addressed immediately. Please help.